The morning air at Arlington National Cemetery was solemn and still, but the peace shattered when a guard's sharp voice cut through it like broken glass. He stood rigid at the main gate, arms crossed over his immaculate uniform, an immovable wall of authority. Beside him, another young guard smirked, amused by the scene unfolding. Before them stood Emily Carter. Only 25, slight in frame, hands marked with work and hardship, her face quiet and steady as granite. She wore a simple dark suit, worn, frayed, but spotless. It was the only one she owned. She said nothing. Her gaze stayed fixed on the distant hills where flags hung at half-mast. She had come for one purpose, and she would not be moved. The guard stepped forward, gravel crunching under polished shoes. Private funeral, invitation only. He demanded credentials. Around them, black sedans rolled in, diplomacy and power arriving in dark-tinted steel. Curious eyes turned, whispering, pitying. To them, she was nobody, just a civilian in an old suit blocking the gate to a hero's farewell. But Emily Carter simply waited. She had waited through storms more violent than this. The guards grew impatient, their arrogance swelling with the presence of spectators. They insisted she leave, threatened consequences, mocked her claim to know General Thompson. A senator stepped forward, polished and practiced, turning the standoff into a performance. His public scolding drew cameras. He framed her as a trespasser, an intruder defying protocol. His approval empowered the guards, their confidence hardened into cruelty. Still, Emily stood silent. Only once did she speak, her voice soft, carrying the weight of oceans. "I'm here for the general." The guards laughed. They saw no rank on her chest, no medals, no ribbons, just poverty, just invisibility. Believing humiliation was easy, they seized her bag and scattered its contents into the gravel. An old paperback, a map, a single key, and a small photograph. The lieutenant lifted the photo, sneering, before letting it fall into the dirt. A limo tire nearly crushed it. Something in Emily's eyes dimmed, sadness, not surrender. As the guards reached for her arms, the lieutenant's hand brushed a tiny crooked metal pin on her lapel, no bigger than a dime, dull and misshapen. He flicked it with contempt, and the world around Emily dissolved. Rain, gunfire, mud swallowing boots, screams. A young Captain Thompson pinned beneath a shattered tree, pressing a glowing shard of shrapnel into Emily's bloody hand. "Keep this. It means you were there. It means you saved us." The flash ended. Arlington returned. Emily stood unmoving, fire smoldering behind her silence. The lieutenant ordered her arrest, and that was the moment the ground trembled. Engines roared. Black Suburbans swept over the hill with combat precision, tires spraying gravel. Doors burst open. 6 decorated officers emerged, ribbons clinking softly with every step. Colonel Reynolds led, fury carved into his face. Behind him stepped 4-star General Daniel Harris, his presence turning the air to stone. Every whisper died. The guards froze, hands falling away from Emily as though burned. The lieutenant turned pale. Time stopped. General Harris didn't look at him, not once. Instead, he walked directly to Emily and stopped 3 feet away. And there, in front of senators, officers, politicians, and grieving families, the most powerful man on the grounds lifted his hand in the sharpest, most reverent salute one could offer. His voice thundered like artillery. "Miss Carter, it is an honor, ma'am." Gasps rippled through the crowd. He spoke of her legend, the shepherd, the ghost of battlefields who rescued soldiers lost beyond maps, who carried wounded men on her back through jungles no rescue team would dare attempt, a medic, a pilot, a warrior, a woman who refused glory, medals, or recognition.
the one who saved Robert Thompson's life in 1968 when a helicopter crash left his team surrounded and doomed. And the pin? A piece of shrapnel from the blast Emily threw herself in front of to save Thompson. Forged into a personal medal by his own hands, the only medal of shepherds ever created. Silence turned to awe. One by one, soldiers raised their hands in salute to the woman once dismissed as a nuisance. Colonel Reynolds gathered her scattered belongings, brushing off the old photograph with reverence, returning it like sacred relics. Emily did not bask in triumph. She looked only at the flag-draped coffin waiting uphill, her final goodbye. Then, gently, she straightened the tiny tarnished pin over her heart. It was enough.